everybody, and welcome back to CuddlesRUs. So, the winds of change are sweeping across Arrakis, and this time they've brought the biggest patch Dune Awakening has seen yet. We're talking massive building upgrades, reworked PvP loot, vehicle recovery systems, and a complete overhaul of the deep desert economy. Grab your still suit and a cup of spice brew. This one's dense, detailed, and downright game-changing. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So, first up, construction got a major overhaul. The building tool now has a replace mode, which lets you swap existing pieces with upgraded ones instantly. There's no more tearing down half your base just to update your walls. This means faster renovations, better design flow, and a lot less frustration when you want to move from starter tier to Dune Man architecture. Speaking of that, the Dune Man set just expanded to 17 new building pieces, including angled roofs, triangle floors, ramps, railings, and even a new Prudence door. They also polished the visuals and added a dedicated section to the construction menu so everything is cleanly organized. Wind traps also stop consuming filters now when your tanks are full, so that's going to save resources automatically. And there's also the big one, banks. Inventory slots have jumped from 25 to 500, and total storage volume rocketed from 1,500 to 30,000. That's not just a tweak, that's a revolution for crafters, traders, and hoarders alike. Finally, loot in PvP zone is now instanced, just like in PvE areas. Everyone who loots a container will get their own drops, so clearing a zone always pays off, no matter what. And don't worry, PvP loot tables still have boosted rewards to keep the risk worthwhile. Alright, so let's go over to the combat updates. So, combat has gotten some much needed balance love. Rocket launchers can once again lock onto characters, but only after you achieve a confirmed lock. No more just blind firing and hoping things hit. Also, infantry missiles are now more consistent, and several assassination contract NPCs have tougher defenses. Spit dart rifles now have their own weapon category as well, so that makes customization much smoother. Also, homing missiles now lose their lock if they overshoot targets by more than 90 degrees, which reduces those weird off-angle hits that people have been experiencing. Also, debuffs have been balanced. Crippling Strike no longer turns you into a snail. It simply disables sprinting. And dash stamina penalties have been reduced to make combat feel much more responsive as well. So overall, combat feels tighter, fairer, and way more readable. Alright, so let's now talk about vehicles, because this update completely changes how you manage them. Ever lost your buggy to the worm? Or watched your ornithopter just vanish in a sandstorm? Now you can recover lost vehicles using the new Vehicle Backup Tool Recovery Mode. Here's how it works. If a vehicle you own is destroyed or swallowed, you can reclaim it for a Solari fee. Each recovery costs you 15% max durability, but the vehicle comes back fully repaired and fueled. You'll have 72 hours to recover vehicles before they're just gone forever. And you can hold up to 5 recoverable at a time. Just note though, vehicles destroyed in combat can't be recovered until the wreck is fully gone, so others can still loot them. Visibility range has also doubled, up to 2 kilometers, making it that much easier to spot your ride from afar. And for all you thopter pilots, the Scout and Assault variants are now light and medium ornithopters for clearer classification. They've even added new hologram meshes, better collision detection, and full interior meshes for thopter cockpits, fully eliminating that floating pilot issue we've been having. Oh, and you can also set your vehicle as a respawn point directly from the management menu now. So if that's not a quality of life update in itself, I don't know what is. Going over to the deep desert now, it is getting a massive structural change, and this one's going to reshape how we hunt for the schematics. Schematics no longer rotate weekly. Instead, every schematic can now be obtained at any time, with certain rare ones still locked behind lance red vendors. Each schematic now drops from specific loot pools, things like PvP testing stations, shipwrecks, and PvE zones, meaning every location has its own identity and reward path. The goal? To make every expedition valuable, and to remove that feeling of missing out when the weekly rotation just didn't go your way. Plus, Lance Red Chest just got a break. Sync chart deliveries have been cut down from over 24,000 to just 1,000, so grinding for favor just got a whole lot more approachable. And if you've ever gotten stranded out there, you'll now spawn near the Deep Desert Taxi Service, giving everyone a way to escape safely back to civilization. So now over in the user interface and quality of life section, there is a long list of polished passes. You'll now see alerts when base power runs low or your taxes default, which that is a huge improvement right there for everybody. Also, search functions in crafting and research menus are smarter, so you can now search by category or multiple keyword. Also, level up notifications are more somatic, and the event log is richer, and the debuff UI now pulses when you're in danger. They also fixed chat improvements, so Shift plus Enter now gives line breaks and default channel switches automatically during trades. And yes, that annoying issue where your bank didn't show a rename event, that should be fixed now as well. Now over to our last section about visuals, audio, and fixes. So visually, Arrakis just keeps getting better. The Arrakeen Vista has been enhanced, Dune Man materials polished, and Aristi's top even got full cloth simulation in cinematics. Ornithopter dust effects now stop when you're out of fuel, which is a small detail, but big immersion. Also, animations, lip sync, and camera transitions across dozens of story moments have been redefined, smoothing out those rough edges from launch. On the technical side, major crash fixes, performance boosts, and improved stability across both servers and clients. Hair simulation is now optimized for distant characters, frame generation ghosting is fixed, and multiple exploits, including auto repair and Solari duping, have been patched out. Sound has also been balanced across environments, lightning strikes got more impact, and yes, the treadwheel finally sounds like a beast. And there you have it, guys. This patch doesn't just fix bugs, it reshapes how we live, fight, and build on Arrakis. From smarter bases to recoverable vehicles and a deep desert that finally rewards exploration, Dune Awakening is evolving into the survival MMO we all knew that it could become. If you made it this far, please hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you're most excited for with this patch. Until next time, stay hydrated, dodge those worms, and remember, the desert never forgets. For those of you who enjoy the songs that I create, I do have a new one that I'm going to attach to the end of this video, and congratulations, you're here. It is called Beneath the Same Sun, so I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think. Bye!
In the shadow of the spice winds, where silence rules the sand, you came with blade and fire, a stranger to this land. Eyes like burning embers, voice sharp as a cry. But I saw behind the fury the question in your eye. They called you they called you cursed, a ghost beneath the dune. But every soul that walks this dust still hungers for the moon. Now I see you not as foe, but as the storm that learned to flow. Wounded heart behind the mask, reaching out at last. If we bleed as one, beneath the same relentless sun. We were never meant to fight alone. Find your place where you belong. Whispers in the wind said you'd never bow, that hatred was your language now. But I watched you share the desert's loot and fight in silence, seeking truth. You spoke of dreams the sand devours, of names the wind erased. But I would walk through burning hours to see your spirit traced. Now I see you not as foe, but as the storm that learned to flow. Wounded heart behind the mask, reaching out at last. If we bleed as one, beneath the same relentless sun. We were never meant to fight alone. Find your place where you belong. You told me of the world before, the weight you had to bear, how trust was just a poison mask and no one ever cared. But here within this shifting dune, a seed begins to grow, and even fear can learn to bloom when kindness starts to show. There is no enemy in the soul that dares to change, no shame in walking new paths through the pain. Even the world must rise from below, even the desert lets the wild things grow. Now we stand no more divided, the sand forgets the wind to confide. Let the old name stir to dust in this fragile trust. If we bleed as one, beneath the same relentless not foe, not flame, not shade, not stone. The desert takes, but it also sows. And what was broken now grows strong. You found the place where you belong.